AMD EPYC 9755 Turin Zen 5 CPU with 128 cores is twice as fast as EPYC 9754 Bergamo Zen 4C CPU with 128 cores. AMD's 5th Gen Turin CPUs such as the flagship EPYC 9755 with 128 cores offer more than twice the performance uplift over Bergamo. AMD EPYC Turin demolishes EPYC Bergamo with over 2x performance uplift despite having the same 128 core count. Zen 5 vs Zen 4C showdown. AMD's 5th Gen EPYC Turin launch is right around the corner, and while we know all the specs of these next-gen Zen 5 and Zen 5C chips ahead of their official unveiling, we haven't seen that many benchmarks of the SKUs running in action. But that changes now as HXL, at 9550 Pro, has shared a new benchmark of the flagship Zen 5 chip, the EPYC 9755 with 128 cores running up against the EPYC 9754, which features the same core count. You can also check out the CPU-Z benchmark of the same chip here. The AMD EPYC 9755 CPU is part of the Turin family, which features 128 cores and 256 threads based on the Zen 5 core architecture. The CPU has a base clock of 2.70 GHz and is said to boost up to 4.10 GHz boost clock speeds. This marks a 33% increase in core, thread count and 11% increase in clock speeds. The CPU also features a huge pool of cache, with 512 MB of L3, 128 MB of L2, and 10 MB of L1, totaling 650 MB cache. This is an increase of 31% over the last EPYC flagship based on the Zen 4 architecture, the EPYC 9654, Genoa. The benchmarks were conducted in the 7-zip application, and the CPU can be seen running at a 1T frequency of 4.1 GHz at max, which ends up slightly higher at 4130 MHz. The CPU scored a max of 346,000 kilobytes per second in compression tests with a rating of 395.969 GIPS and 4,445 kb. In decompression tests with a rating of 395.525 GIPS. The average rating was 394.705 GIPS. AMD EPYC 9755 Turin 128 core CPU 7-zip benchmark. The AMD EPYC 9754 CPU, which is the flagship Bergamo chip with 128 Zen 4C cores, scored a max of 171,000 kilobytes per second in compression tests with a rating of 195.572 GIPS and 2,221 kb. In decompression tests with a rating of 197.638 GIPS. The average rating was 196.775 GIPS. This shows over 2x uplift for the EPYC 9755 Zen 5 inches Turin CPU in the same benchmark, which is quite the leap. This is still just one workload. AMD's 5th Gen EPYC Turin Zen 5 inches CPUs are all set to launch on the 10th of October, so we can expect a lot of comparisons with the existing lineup and even the competition, as Intel is going to launch its latest Xeon 6 6900P CPUs in September, which will offer up to 128P cores. Two while denser 288 core variants will arrive in Q1 2025 with Sierra Forest Xeon 6900E chips.